was how do you deal with being told you've failed, basically. I thought I was able to handle it quite well. Probably could have done better, but
I don't know, going all the way to the Commonwealth Games and getting yourself a bronze medal is a pretty good way to say I'm not giving up on this. That's Greg. That is ridiculously inspiring. That as well, especially because a lot of people talk about that ultimatum. They're like, "Oh, if I'm not doing it, I'm going to give up," but they never really sort of give up. But it sounded like you, because like you said, like people got bills to pay, and the money from swimming isn't exactly life changing. It's not footballer salary. It's not these F1 salaries. You have to work alongside it while you're coming up. So now I do want to talk about I want to go back and talk about uni lifestyle because, as you said, you went to Glasgow and joined that city swimming team. But while we're on the topic and in the story of this podcast, we've just got to the Commonwealth Games. Let's talk about the Commonwealth Games because it's like behind the Olympics. It's probably the biggest event on the calendar for yourself. Maybe not in terms of competition, like you might have times where the competition's a bit more fierce, but definitely in terms of media attention, the Commonwealth Games just gets that extra coverage. It gets the BBC coverage. It takes over the channel for almost 3 or 4 weeks, doesn't it? And so what's it like when you're doing all this stuff and like you're probably noticing more cameras around? You're probably noticing like a few more interviews, especially like you said, if you're the only Scottish person competing in the 50-meter fly. We're one of the most patriotic countries in the world. Like anything somebody Scottish, like look at Andy Murray. He's playing at like 6 a.m. in Australia, and you've got people taking photos of the telly when they've not watched tennis since Wimbledon in 2010 or something. But so how does this feel? Like you've obviously got people like Claire Bolden getting these interviews. How does the Commonwealth atmosphere compare to everyday life type thing?
It was definitely different. Like I didn't get much media when I was there. I got interviewed once by BBC Scotland after my 50 fly heats. And then I said after the semi final I had a few choice words, and I don't think I was going to get any more media after that. But I didn't. Yeah, it was like the biggest event I've ever been at, and it was like I still don't think I really took in the scale of it. Like it didn't really. I don't know. It kind of just felt like I was meant to be there, which I don't want to come across like big headed or that, but I think I was. I don't know if I was just like so like focused or like okay, I've got a job to do here. I didn't really notice that much until after it, and it was like a like I didn't take the time to enjoy it whilst I was there. Like that, if anyone could learn anything from this, it'd be like if you get somewhere like that, just enjoy it. Because now this is like kind of I don't know, like the dark side of sport that people don't get to see. Is that for me that whole experience is negative. Like it's whilst it was amazing and I loved it, I still come away with like negative feelings from it because I didn't do as well as I wanted. And with the medal, I didn't do the final, so I got the medal because I got the team into the final. So there was 4 of us that did the heats, and then they swapped all of us for the final. So as far as I know, the other boys were buzzing, and I just felt so guilty because I didn't feel like I deserved the medal, and I still don't feel like I deserve it. And like it took me like 5 weeks after it. Like I was just beating myself up constantly, being like, "You're a failure. Like you don't deserve to have this medal." Like everyone keeps coming up to you and congratulating you and being like, "Oh, it's amazing what you've done," and that. And in I don't believe it myself. I'm like, if only they knew how I really feel, that they'd think, "Oh no, he's just a fraud," and that's what it felt like. I felt like a fraud, which is obviously quite hard to deal with. And I'm sure a lot of people will be surprised, but when I've been to a couple of primary schools. Like I went back to Kingsland to talk to them, and I'd never said any of that whilst I was there. I was just saying how good it was, and but yeah, that's the harsh reality of sports. Sometimes is that people can look at sports figures and think, "Wow, they've got an amazing life, and they've done so well." When you're as much a perfectionist as I am, nothing is good enough. You know, it's like unless I've had a perfect race, I'm not going to be happy with it, and that's something that I'm really trying to work on, is being okay with not failure, but being okay with not being perfect, which is really difficult.
Hey, thank you for listening to this Clips episode on YouTube. And then if you want to hear the whole podcast, you can find them on Apple or Spotify, as well as the full video version on this YouTube channel, alongside all the other great content we produce on a weekly basis. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you again on another Clips episode or in the full episode podcast. Tweet us, tag us, let us know what you thought. All the links are down in the description. It means the world that you guys come and support us, so thank you very much.